This is discipline 1, shot 4B. It's a pretty classic trick shot. I'm just going to line 4 balls up across the table and make them all. But it can be pretty complex depending on the equipment you have. And unfortunately, this table is actually pretty tough with regards to this shot. So I'm going to show you a really kind of complex way that I end up setting up the balls. I'm going to take the one ball. It's going to be on the center line of the table, but I'm going to put it a half ball width out from the side pocket. So first of all, that's probably farther out than most of what you're going to end up on most tables doing. To line up the rest of the balls to start with, I'm going to take my Q-tip, I'm going to put it underneath the cushion just on this side of the table from the side pocket. And I'm going to roll my Q-stick along the top of the rail here until it just touches the one ball. I'm going to hold the one ball in place to make sure I don't move it from where I had it lined up. And then you just take the 2, 3, and 4 balls and you push them up against the bottom of the Q-stick and then roll them into the one ball. That'll help make sure. Now when you look at this, you'll see when you do it that the entire line is kind of aimed in that direction. And this is obviously an exaggeration. But because the 2 ball is so far out and it's aimed kind of that way, you're not going to make the 2 ball into the corner pocket. So once that's set, I'm actually going to move the 1 ball back just a little bit to my right. And that's going to help make the 2 ball in the corner pocket. Now the cue ball I'm going to put on this diamond line, even with the 2, 3 intersection. So if I take the point where the 2 and the 3 are touching and draw a line between that and the center of the cue ball, it's going to be parallel to the long rail. As far as my aim point, I'm going to aim just a little bit into the 3 ball. So the left edge of my shaft is going to be even with the left edge of the 3 ball. A little bit of draw to help get the cue ball out of the way. But other than that, just keep the center ball hit because you don't want to put any English on it. And again, that's a very complex way to set up this shot, but I need to do that particularly on this table because it was playing a little tough. Now, other ways you can do it is to use a rack. Just put the 1, 2, 3, and 4 balls in a straight line across the table. Put all the balls against the rack to make sure they're straight. And then I usually put the back edge of this row of balls even with the point of the side pocket. And this will give room for the 4 ball to throw into the big area of the side pocket on the other side of the table. One thing you do have to keep in mind when you start doing this is exactly where the edge of the 1 ball is. How far over the side pocket it is or how far out from the cushion it is. And that can change depending on how you're making the rest of the balls. Now the cue ball you can actually place anywhere, you can make this shot from almost, from quite a range of cue ball positions. And what it's mostly going to do is as you come out farther to the right, so farther away from the rail, you're going to put more spin on the 3 ball when you cut it. And that's going to cause the 3 ball to spin more into this long rail. So if I shot it this way on this table, I know I can put quite a bit of spin on the 3 ball. It's going to grab a lot on that rail, and the 3 ball actually ends up spinning and almost, it can hit actually above this side pocket if I'm not careful with it. So that's one of the adjustments that you can make depending on whether or not the 3's banking and depending on how the rest of the table's playing. Again, just moving these balls out can help also make the 3 ball, and then if you do move it out too far that you're not making the 2, you can move the 1 ball back just a little bit to make sure that tangent line is even with the corner pocket. Practice this on your table, obviously, whatever regular table you play on. Make sure you try out different tables, different brands of tables, and just make sure that your setup works on all the tables that you can find. And if they don't, sometimes you just have to find a brand new setup, like I showed you here. But with that knowledge, you should be able to figure it out given the practice time you have on the tournament table. And if you don't like it, this is shot 4B, you can always choose shot 4A instead, which was the kick shot into the corner pocket.